The 2400
Welcome to the 2400 Block podcast with your host, Jonnyroobs.
Well, hello guys. Welcome to another episode of the 2400 Block podcast. It's Jonnyroobs over here in the Chicago suburbs. And my special guest is in Norfolk, Virginia, which of course was my hometown, still is. And I'm wearing the shirt today. I'm wearing Norfolk State. So yeah, I got to represent somehow. And we got Bobbi K. I don't know how to pronounce your last name, but Bobbi K.
It's Kwiatkowski. As long as you don't call me late for dinner, we're good.
Kwiatkowski. Oh, okay. Well, guys, just to let you know, we're both classmen from Booker T. She graduated sometime around 1994, and I graduated in 1992. So I saw her, right before that time I graduated, and it's good to see her now. I saw her about, almost 10 years ago over there at Azalea Inn in the Time Out restaurant. Wow.
Yes, that was good times, seeing everybody and meeting up. Cause I know some of the other classes have had like reunions and stuff, but I don't think 94 has, and I don't know that 92 has either, that I know of.
I don't think they did.
Mm-mm.
No, I didn't get any notice whatsoever.
Me either. That's all right. I see the people I see. I still live here, so.
Yeah. And by the way, hello to everyone whom I've met at the Azalea Inn restaurant. Very nice to have met you all, and hopefully we'll do it again at maybe this year. Who knows? Maybe right at the Christmas time. I don't know.
That's right. Holidays are coming.
You never know.
That's right.
Yep. Yes, indeed. And tonight we have a little bit of a mini reunion here between me and Bobbi K here tonight. So we're going to have a wonderful episode. We're going to try to liven things up for you all, make you all feel good. Here I am, 51 years old. I don't know how old you're now, Bobbi.
49. I'm just
49.
right
So
there. I feel 50, but I'm 49.
Well, you're living proof. Here we are, guys. We made it, and we're very grateful to have made it this far. I know there were some, other classmen that weren't able to make it this far in life, and, keeping them in my thoughts.
Definitely. Absolutely.
Especially my brother who, passed away a few months ago. So
yeah,
definitely, this one's for him too.
Absolutely. Again,
All right.
condolences.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much, Bobbi. Okay, where shall we start? Okay, so, take us back to 1990, whatever it was, 91, 92. I just remembered you being out there in the parking lot having a, good old time. We didn't have no cell phones.
No.
Just plain human interaction. We're just there in the parking lot.
Our biggest concern was whether we had money to go get stuff from the convenience store across the street. Like, honestly, we had to have our little Mystic drinks and what have you, But, yeah, running around, I wouldn't say an outcast, but I just kind of marched to the beat of my own drum. It wasn't anything to see me in a Burger King crown walking through the hallways or, I always had my Little Mermaid shoelace keepers on, and that was one of my signature things. And finding pictures with that in there. It's a trip. Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of going to go to places like a convenience store, I went to McDonald's, which was just basically just right across the street.
Right.
And it turns out that security caught me. Security caught me. And then they put me for in-school suspension just because I went to McDonald's. They think I'm only getting away with it or something. But I was coming back. But, I was doing the in-school suspension for like a day, looking at the corner the entire time.
I had it for 2 days.
That wasn't fun.
Yeah, I had it for 2 days. One time I ended up skipping in between the lunches and got caught. So, I think we all kind of did at one point or another.
Yeah, we did. It's so good. It's so memorable too, right?
It is. It really is.
As much as we want to forget about it.
Oh, no, I don't want to forget about it. No, those were good times.
Yeah, I think the most greatest feat for me was like, I think I did skip school that one time, and I did walk all the way to Coleman Place. I couldn't even believe it. I think I got home in like within an hour and a half, somewhere like that. And I was just walking at a snail's pace with my friend, and that was it. And right there in the hood.
Wow. Yeah, that's a pretty long walk, though.
Yeah,
that's pretty decent. That's a straight down Princess Anne. Holy crap!
Hey, but now I broke the record here. I was in downtown Chicago where the bean is, the Cloud Gate. That jelly bean behind me, the transparent looking jelly bean. And I was walking 38,000 steps, which was about maybe 6 hours long. And I made it all the way to the beach out there in Chicago. It's not really the best beach, just like small sized beach. I don't really call it a natural beach either. But I made it all the way, 38,000 steps. Very proud of myself.
That's awesome. Yeah. I haven't done that much. I've been going on these walks pretty regular, but I definitely haven't done that much. Working up to it though. We'll see.
I see. Yeah, I noticed you had some considerable weight loss from when I last saw you in 2015.
Yeah. I had gone through a little bit of some medical issues. It turns out I was just kind of going through some stuff, and stress fast, I guess it'll do that to you. I'm not necessarily complaining, other than the fact that now that it's getting cold, I don't have any insulation. So I'm always with the blankets, like in layers. Layers and blankets are my friend now.
So it's definitely like not full blast in there, right? Not full blast of warm air.
Oh no. It's supposed to drop down, I think, on Tuesday, and somebody said something about some possible snow flurries. I'm like, oh, here we go.
Oh, well, speaking of that, we're going to get it first here. It's reported around Sunday we'll be getting it. So by the time the Chicago Bears will be hitting the field against the San Francisco 49ers, it's definitely going to snow.
Yep, it is. Yeah. It is that time for it.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, definitely fill me in on about high school. What was high school like to you when we were classmen over there? How was it like being, a student there? I love to hear your perspective, since I wasn't able to even talk to you during that time. I just said hello here and there, and I was just this quiet dude.
You were very quiet. You were just kind of in the background. You were there, but you were just kind of in the background, just kind of observing, taking it all in. I respect that now. I really do, because you definitely get perspectives when you just kind of sit back and take it all in. No, I was more flitting all over the place, like I don't know that I necessarily had, I guess you could say, all of us kind of had some cliques or whatever. I didn't necessarily have a clique per se. I did have my bestie, Rob Ritchie. We met the first day of freshman year, and we were in homeroom together. And that first day, I ended up asking him for a hug at our lockers. And after that, we were best friends ever since. So we kind of went through it together, more or less. But other than that, I mean, it wasn't too bad. It was interesting at times, but coming up in Norfolk public schools, you're in a melting pot. So, you grow up into that.
Yeah.
So you're kind of prepared. I was a little culture shocked. I went to Little Creek one year, and that was the year that they did busing for everybody and moved people to
Oh
like
yeah.
different schools or what. I think they only did.
Do they call that crosstown busing? Something like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
crosstown busing. I
yeah.
remember.
And I was supposed all of
Yeah.
Coleman Place was supposed to go to Tucker, and my parents were like, "Oh, nope." So I lived with my grandma that year and went to Little Creek Elementary. And when I tell you that was a culture shock, like I had never seen so many Navy kids in all my life. I didn't know nothing about Navy kids until I went over there. I was
Oh
like,
yeah.
oh, this is different. Like they roll different. I want to go back to Coleman Place. But yeah, I mean, it had its moments. I made a lot of friendships there that have been like lifelong friendships, really. I still talk to
Uh-huh.
quite a few people. I have a lot of people on Facebook that we went to school together, and we keep up. You know how social media is. We all kind of keep up and, hey, happy
Yeah.
birthday, and that sort of thing. What was your experience like?
Yeah. You know, my experience, before I answer that, I want to let you know that you were this close to meeting me earlier on because I went to Tucker.
Oh, did you really? No, I
Yeah,
wasn't
I
allowed
did.
to go.
So right after third grade, I couldn't even go to Coleman Place, and I was really looking forward to going to Coleman Place, but nah, they did a crosstown busing thing, and they sent me all the way 30 minutes to Tucker.
Yeah.
And it was a different experience. It was totally different from Coleman Place. It was mostly, African American, kids, and most of them, I'm still friends with to this very day. So it's
Hey,
good to know.
that's the beauty of Norfolk. I really feel like it's such a melting pot in this city in particular. I mean, in the area in general, but with so much military influence, we have and NATO for that matter. We have so many people from so
Oh
many
yeah,
different walks of life, and I think that gives a little bit of a unique perspective as opposed to maybe some other places. I mean, I could be biased. It is home. I was born here, but that's my take on it.
yeah. Okay. See, I came over here in 1980. I came fresh from South Korea, where my dad was stationed, and then prior to that, my dad was in Japan, and that's where I was born. So,
Hmm.
yeah. So in Korea, we went to Navy housing, and then we went to school. So of course, all the kids over there are all Navy related. So we all knew each other. We all became our little small community, and I really miss how it was back then. By the time I get to America, I see how things are a little bit different. It's no longer the Navy housing kids. Oh my goodness, the way I was treated in this school. It was Mary Calcott Elementary. So I remember being in that school. It was nice for a while, I just had to get used to it. And of course, this was around the time too that my parents started going to work more often. You see, in Korea, my mom was, she was just a housewife, so she basically just stayed home. But by the time we got to America, they had to work harder. We're trying to get out of this, this apartment, which was Merrimack Park at the time. Now it's Merrimack Landing. We stayed there for a little bit of a while until they were able to get much money. And all of a sudden we moved into Coleman Place, which was then this, it was new, it was developing, it was something, back in the day. And there were families moving in because where we were in Coleman Place in front of the school, it was developing, a lot of houses were being built. It was a new part of the neighborhood,
Right.
let's say.
Yeah.
So it was awesome seeing all these, new kids popping up here and there. But then somewhere along the way, around, I believe it was 1986 or 1987, that's when they started doing the Section 8, and things just started looking different. But, we stood strong. We were able to be friends with these kids. Just most of the good families, they all ventured on to Virginia Beach and Chesapeake.
Yeah.
So we just had to deal with what we had.
Right.
And even to this very day, my goodness, just going back to that neighborhood just gives me goosebumps.
It is kind of crazy. It especially since I've been doing DoorDash and some other delivery stuff and everything. I drive around the city and I noticed some of the things because I
Uh-huh.
had lived in Chesapeake for about 5, 6 years, and then I came back. So noticing all the
Okay.
changes, now it's like wow. But it also gives a
Uh-huh.
new appreciation for it too, which is nice.
Great. All right. Well, all the nostalgia maybe to the side for now. Well, we're still dealing with nostalgia. I got some questions here to ask you.
Okay.
So, all right. So it's been ages since our, high school days at good old Booker T. Washington. I was class of 92 and you're the class of 94 and a half. So, what's what's one vivid memory, from those hallways that still makes you smile when you think about it?
This is going to sound kind of crazy, but there was a time where there was a fight. So we went to a school that there was a lot of fight, and there was this one particular fight, and the girl yanked the other girl's hair out and ran it up the flagpole. Even today, I sit there and think about that. And I mean, is it wrong to laugh at it? Probably, but the ratchet in me finds it hilarious. But it was good. There was some really good times there too. I made a lot of friendships and everything. I can't really think of any one particular. They all kind of meshed together, especially at this point.
Yeah. Now, were you there when the seagulls exploded? Did anyone attempted to feed them something and tragic?
I normally went inside I normally went inside whenever that was going on because I was normally one of the ones. Don't do it to the birds. Good. Yeah.
I still remember as if it was yesterday. I just remember being in that part of the door, before the bell rang, and just remember y'all just hanging out in the parking lot.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. That's the thing that'll just forever be etched in memory. And then you're still there. I still remember you being there. That's why I still remember you wearing that jacket. You know?
The Georgetown jacket. Yes. Yes, I lived in that thing.
Yeah. What's one thing you miss about, being in the 90s around that time? I mean, we definitely had a lot of good music on the radio.
I still listen to a lot of that music even now. That's a good question. I don't know. I guess maybe it could have been because we were younger, but it did seem like things moved a little bit slower and they weren't quite so rushed. Everything feels rushed now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And plus, you're overwhelmed with all of what's going on. There's just all this splurge of information left and right. Back then, we just focused and honed in on one thing.
Right.
Which was schoolwork or maybe our friends,
Right. If you wanted to, you didn't have Google. So if you wanted to look something up, you had to go to your grandma's house and go get the encyclopedias out and start or ask your aunt or your uncle if they knew.
Yeah.
It was different. Definitely.
You remember the days of the card catalog and microfiche?
Yeah.
When you're doing all that research, there was no Google back then. You really had to, dive physically into the information.
You did, and you're writing the information down on your index cards and everything else. You're not typing it into your phone. It was definitely, I think we benefited from that. That's probably why Gen X is so feral, because we were right on the cusp of it when all that first started coming in, but we still played outside and things like that. So I think that makes a difference as to why we are the way that we are.
Yes, indeed. Okay, so I'm just gonna look at some of the questions here. I can't go into to all of them here today. It's just gonna be we're gonna be having a 3-hour talk. Oh gosh. Oh, so you want me to do my Mrs. Thomas impression? I promised you I was gonna do that.
Yes.
I think I might have to drink some water before I do that.
Yes. Not at 210, baby. Not at 210.
It was actually nice. It was so nice to hear to hear her on the phone that she still sounds exactly the same. I know she's about 92 now.
Wow.
So
that's wild.
Yeah. Can't believe she's almost 100. My guidance counselor from Norview Middle, she just passed away recently. She made it all the way to 100.
Wow. I still keep in touch on Facebook with Mr. Broadbent from choir.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yes.
Wow, the Mr. Broadbent. So, Mr. Broadbent, hello. We're here and we're talking about you. Wow. Just hearing, teachers' names like that, that's really cool.
It is.
What other teachers do you remember? Mr. Hamler. I remember Mr. Hamler because he was the coach. He was Coach Hamler, for the basketball team. That's how I remember Coach Hamler.
Yes. I remember Mr. Outen. He was
Jacob Outen.
Yes, he was
Yes,
he
Jacob.
actually was one of the bowlers on the church bowling league that I was on. So I actually got to hang out with him like outside of school. He was pretty cool. But he would tell you about some of the reenacting and all that. You'd get him going and then you're like, bro, it's your turn.
Okay, have you seen him in his different phase? I know he had like two phases. There was one where he had the beard,
Yeah.
The large beard, and then later on he transitioned himself into something different. Remember Austin Powers? He looked like Austin Powers. He started going retro with his fashion, and he got rid of his beard, and he's got a mustache. I mean, not a mustache, just like all clean shaven, and his hair looked like Austin Powers, and he had his glasses too.
Yes. It was
more... And I was surprised to see him. I actually visited him, and there he was. I'm like, wow, that's Mr. Out now?
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I haven't seen him in it's been years. Well, it's been since that time.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm gonna be asking you questions, and then later on I'll be doing my Miss Thomas impressions.
Right on.
Oh my goodness, I'm gonna do this for the first time from everyone. Miss Thomas impression. All right. So from graduating in 1994 to now, what's one thing about Norfolk or our old stomping grounds that hasn't changed at all, and one thing that's totally different?
I think one thing that hasn't changed is the flooding and the potholes. It's actually gotten a little worse.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's terrible. It really is. Every time it rains, it's like, well, I'm not going to Ocean View. I'm not going downtown. We're just going to stay in this little area. I think one thing that's gotten a little bit better is it seems like Norfolk has gotten it together a little bit more as far as utilizing the spaces properly. Like I can remember, growing up back then where it just seemed like it was kind of haphazard with how things were set up and things along that nature. And now it seems like it's more of a concerted effort to kind of do this in this area, make sure this park is in this area. Then again, that could be just looking at it through adult eyes too.
Yeah. So nothing much hasn't really changed with Norfolk. They still have their pothole and flooding problems, right?
Yeah. There's an outlet mall.
Oh yeah, I've been to that one. I actually love it. And it's not too far from where, my folks live at. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
But that traffic part is weird though. When I'm on I think that's Haygood or coming from Haygood and then going across Northampton Boulevard, it's just weird. You have to turn in a certain way to get there, and then there's Chick-fil-A right over there as well. Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, and then you go up further.
I didn't know how to get there first, and then yeah, I have to go up further. You're right.
Yeah. Well, it's crazy because then you go up a little bit.
Things,
oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. It's all right. Go continue what you're saying.
Just when you go a little bit further, then you've got where the wooden nickel used to be, and they used to call it Lansdale Traffic Circle.
Oh my gosh, the wooden nickel.
Yeah.
Wow,
that area, I don't know what they were thinking with the engineering. I mean, it works, but it's so confusing. Like the first couple of years, I know I watched multiple people going down the wrong way. I did it myself at one point. It's crazy.
It was confusing for me too, especially someone who just, now lives in Chicagoland and then seeing this kind of traffic.
It's weird. My goodness. Yeah. It's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep, it is weird. Speaking of, something that doesn't change was what you showed me was Booker T, the parking lot where we were at. And it didn't look like anything has changed. It still looks exactly the same as it was 30-some years ago.
It really does. Like the wall.
Not really much of an update at all.
No. When I drove by the last time, it looked like the driver's ed tower was the roof of that was kind of coming down a little bit. I'm like, ooh, y'all really ain't doing nothing.
Now, have you went to any sporting activities that time? Like attending football games or baseball games or golf?
No.
I never had the chance.
I didn't go when we were in school, and now I'm just like, yeah, it's outside. I get cold too easily.
Oh yeah, my mom and my dad, they wouldn't let me or my brothers, my brother actually, Jason. We weren't able to go out. Well, the only thing that we were able to see during after school activities was him in the ROTC at the time, the JROTC. So that was the only thing that I, saw my brother was during that time with the ROTC, their exercises and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But my mom seemed to be favoring him more than me because I was kind of like the black sheep. I was kind of like the rule breaker. Was kind of rebellious. I wanted to break the barrier. So right now, I actually did become successful at breaking the barrier. So here I am now in Chicagoland, and they've been stuck ever since. Jason joined the Navy, but he was lucky to be stationed in Norfolk for most of his time, most of his 20 years.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
He's very lucky to have had Norfolk, and my brother too, my other brother, they all just pretty much, stayed over with my mom. So they just seem like they couldn't get out of that. They're still stuck in that, that box that they couldn't get out of.
It's hard to get out of that.
But yeah.
It really is.
And it's hard too for me mentally. It was hard for me because I had to really grow up. Like, I had to develop myself fast, especially having to move somewhere else. I actually moved to Orlando, Florida for a few years. My friend Ariel, he gave me the opportunity to go somewhere else. I was actually heartbroken. Someone used me. It wasn't a real relationship. No, this person had motives. So that's what happened. And he said, why don't you just start fresh in Orlando, get to meet new people, which I did. And I'm very grateful that I did. I was able to form a lot of friendships. And to this very day, I still keep in touch with some of them on Facebook. But later on, I found out that the job that I was at was being bought over. So, of course, I was about to get cut. And then my apartment was, the lease was already running out. So I said to myself, with this going on, I don't think I'm gonna make it. So I actually went back to Virginia for a year. And after that, that didn't last long. I went to Chicagoland in 2010. And I've been here ever since.
Wow. That's awesome. But you were able to get out of here, though. A lot of us can't. Well, not can't. We don't.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I've been to Virginia Beach. I lived there for a little bit, and I lived in Chesapeake for a little bit. And now I'm back here, so.
Yeah. See, with y'all still being there, I wish I could have had the chance to know all of you, in detail. That's all I was. I was just an asterisk in your lives. That's all I was. It was this guy just walking, not, still trying to make sense of the world. My mind was not there yet, because that's how it is. When you stay home, you stay home. And it's been like that for a long time. But, it also has its blessings, though, because, if I did not end up being home all the time, I could wound up in real big trouble. I could have, been in jail. Who knows where, these people, these so-called friends would have led me to.
That is
but
so
then
true.
There's a part of me, there's a part of me that stay home guy that just take things, that just chill, just laid back, and just seeing how things are as I observe. I've seen crazy shit going on. Pardon my French there. Crazy people in New York. I went to New York for the first time. I'm like, gee, is everybody this crazy? Because I never witnessed it until I see it for myself.
Right.
Being someplace else.
That's the beauty of
that it's not the same. It's not Norfolk, Virginia. Yeah, definitely not Norfolk, Virginia.
Mm-mm.
We live in a much more smaller environment, and then just being in someplace else that's bigger than Norfolk, it's a totally different story.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I definitely, I look back on it and I wish I had traveled a little bit, but at the same time, just situations being what they were and my parents being here and things like that. I've kind of made it home.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's good. Good for you.
Yeah.
I'm just so I'm just so excited right now. Just taking this time talking to you right now. I am just very happy to have you on. Get to talk to you in detail for the first time ever, and only I only talked to you like for just maybe a few sentences when I saw you in 2015. I was like, hey, hi Bobby, how you doing? And there wasn't really like much, and I'm still trying to get a grasp of everybody that were there. I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I going to say? I'm like, I don't really know them. I don't know anybody that much too well. See, that's what it was. When you're just a stay-at-home guy, you wish you can get to know these people, but then I don't know what to say, It's hard. So, but now I'm coming out of my shell. I'm feeling comfortable in telling everybody that this was me. And I'm just trying to take as much as possible right now in getting to know people before, who knows, my day might come. Who knows, like, when life will end. So I just want to take that time right now to get to know people. So if I was going to go back over there to the Azalea Inn, I would definitely like to take time to talk to people, maybe spend at least 10 or 15 good minutes to talk to each one. And now I'm talking to you for a whole good hour, maybe an hour and a half.
Excited to be here. I'm digging it. I'm loving it. Definitely. And it's great to get to know you as well. Like, it's you were so quiet. You were so quiet back then. So, I get it. And I was all over the place, as my bestie used to say, looking for the next victim,
And for those that are watching right now, if you're wondering, like, who am I talking to? I'm talking to Bobbi K. She is one of the, alum from Booker T. Washington High School. We both went to the same high school, guys, in case you wanted to know. So she's my guest here today. I'm trying to catch up with her. It's been a while since I last saw her, so I'm just letting everyone know who's like maybe skipping through this or just gotten into watching this. Yeah, this is us right here. 2025. It's been so many long years here. And again, hello to everyone out there who went to Booker T. Washington High School with us. This episode's for you guys.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And I wish I could name them all. Maybe we could name them all before the end of the show. So.
Oh, I don't know about that. That's a lot of memory.
Yeah. It's weird now at this age where you just look at faces and like, what's your name? I don't remember you.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it does happen to some of my close friends that they don't remember. It's a part of life. As much as we don't like it, that's just the reality we face.
It is. It really is.
Yeah.
Sometimes we find that out, and we just have to adjust and keep moving on.
Yeah. So that being said, how was life after high school for you? I know you had to go through a whole lot to get to where you are right now. Especially mentally.
Right. Well, I just kind of stumbled through it, more or less.
Mm-hmm.
I got married. I had a couple of relationships, and then I got married. I worked quite a few jobs. I've done all sorts of things, from making chocolate candies at Forbes Candy. That was a fun job. Quality control.
Oh, wow.
Quality control. That's why I'm tasting them. But I also worked at Norfolk Botanical Garden one year as a tour guide, at the aquarium, in the gift shop, all kinds of food service and stuff. I've done all sorts of things, but nothing really too terribly much in depth, other than working at dealerships. And I started doing that. I kind of got to the point where, I started finding that I just really should be fitting into this box. Everybody else fits into the box of doing the 9 to 5 and coming home and doing the same thing every day. Then I kind of went through some stuff. I got divorced, got remarried, and then had my son at 38 years old. Talk about a late bloomer. So life changed again. And then after that, I still kind of worked a few dealerships and started looking at life a little bit different. I became a mom, and my perspective kind of changed a little bit at what I wanted and what I wanted life to look like. And then I ended up stepping outside of a marriage and having a relationship for about 5 years. It didn't work out. And that kind of turned into, I guess you could say, a spiritual awakening. And God kind of sat me down and made me look at myself. And so I took a good hard look and came back home. My husband was gracious enough to let me come home. So I did. And I'm here now trying to figure it out from there. It's been a wild ride, though, trying to figure all these things out and trying to honor myself. I realized in all of this that I really haven't. I've been riding around on other people's coattails and, just kind of going with the flow, and I need to be the creator of my life for a change. So that's kind of where I'm at. And that's taken me down this journey of doing a lot of writing, which I haven't done since high school. That's a great thing. I love that. Doing a lot of nature walks. I'm trying to regulate my nervous system and just trying to get over a lot of the things that not only happened, that I allowed. That's been the biggest thing is, I can look at how things happen and I can place blame, and there is blame to go around. But at the end of the day, what's going to help me the most is looking at my whys, looking at how I can change it, what the lesson was, and just kind of move from there. Because I've got a bit of a different outlook on things now than what I used to, which is nice. God sat me down for real and humbled me. So I feel like now is my time to start fixing myself and maybe tell others about it. So maybe they can find their way as well. Because it's a process and we're all just kind of trying to walk each other home in the process. So I want to be part of that. So that's kind of where I'm at now. And I'm still just winging it, but I'm giving it up to some higher powers that probably have a little bit better knowledge than I do. Because what I've been doing hasn't necessarily been working. So maybe they got some better idea.
That's good. I mean, even through the struggles, you're able to, find yourself. And then also because of that, you're learning how to process things differently. I know back then when it was fresh, it was, probably difficult, especially trying to handle your emotions as it's happening.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I've learned to handle myself pretty well too. Me and my mom, we kind of like didn't see eye to eye until that time when I had to leave them. It was getting toxic. There were some times that just, she would just start an argument with me, and I was enjoying my day just watching pro wrestling on TV, and she just interrupts my day, starts an argument, and she just pushed my buttons way, way too far.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought to myself, I need to get out of here. I really need to get out of here. I need to find myself. So as you were seeing me in high school, when you saw quiet me walking around, that was what was in my head. Was dealing with stuff at home, dealing with my mom, and then my dad, who's like a minion to her, dealing with him too. So whatever she says, he just follows. And to this very day, he still does.
Yeah.
And right now, I'm trying to help my mom right now, but she's being stubborn. She's got, I guess, what you can call full blown dementia. That's what she has right now.
Okay.
So every morning she wakes up hysterically trying to take care of a problem that does not even exist. It just comes from her own imagination. She also imagines that there are spirits in the house doing things here and there. And I've been in the house for like 2 months, ever since my brother died. There's nothing over there. She just makes things up. He says that there's, someone stole something in this room. I'm like, I don't know nothing of that. And then my youngest brother would tell me, oh no, I put it there. So my mom's been making up a whole lot of problems, and just dealing with her it's been overwhelming. And right now I'm trying to control my emotions. I'm trying not to think about things like that. I'm trying to focus more on what's happening around me. All I can right now do is pray for her that hopefully she'll get it one day. Like as in get the mental picture, but right now she's not. And I just wish she would just go to the hospital right now and get checked. Wow. And get the help she needs.
Right. I am sorry to hear that. That definitely resonates with me too. The things that I was dealing with, my mom and I don't have the best relationship either. And we're not necessarily working on it right now. It's kind of a distance thing. I've kind of distanced myself quite a bit out of necessity, just because, again, like you said, she doesn't get it. She doesn't understand. And until I'm strong enough to be able to bridge that gap and know that it may not come to anything, it's better that I keep it at arm's length. But I get that, because I was on the other end where I was smiling and carrying on and acting a fool, and still had things going on at home, but I wouldn't let anybody in to really know. Like, nobody really knew the things. Well, maybe one or two people knew, but that was about it. So, and it's hard because you're at home, you're sheltered a little more than a lot of your friends. I know in my case I would. So you're not necessarily having those experiences and those sounding boards like others do, and it just it compounds the issue. Definitely. And it's hard to get through. I think this inner child healing is really in the energy for everybody right now, because so many of us are really looking at stuff, and I'm doing my best to kind of honor my inner child and my inner teen, especially because she's feisty. She likes to come up. She's the one posting stuff. Like, she's coming out. But I think this stuff is coming up for us just so that we can heal from it. It's a trigger, and it's hard to deal with, especially when they love us. We know that, but it doesn't make it any easier to deal with. And that's what makes it so difficult, because you struggle between your peace and your duty. And it's a hard place to be. So I feel for you on that, especially with the dementia. It's not fun dealing with people with dementia. The best thing you can do with them is kind of handle them a little like children in a way. Not placating per se, but just kind of roll with it. And that seems to help them kind of stay a little less agitated anyway. I would work with my grandma a little bit.
Yeah. Good point. And I appreciate you for that. Let me tell you a little bit about myself and kind of like where I was after high school. I wish I could have been very, very serious with my studies, but no, I was gallivanting. I focused more on building friendships and relationships, and did not focus on myself. I was merely just wanting to get attention. I went to school. I went to TCC. I majored in graphic arts and design. Did not take it seriously. I wound up with a 2.4 GPA or something like that. I just didn't care. I was just so burned out from that. And then the argument still continued with my mom, and that wasn't helping. And then she would be giving me all these lectures like, oh, you could have done this, you could have done that when you're, in your younger years. And I'm just hearing this from her, and I wish that she would have been there from the get-go on trying to motivate me and empower me to be this person that she want me to become. But no, I don't want to do no medical field. That's how it is sometimes when you go to school. They want you to try something else other than what you've taken. So I've been getting a whole lot of lectures from her through the years, even to this very day. She still would tell me, about it, and it just doesn't go well into the conversation.
No. And that's why I'm on distance right now with mine.
I didn't even had any good jobs either. To this very day, I'm still kind of like a journeyman. I'm so old and I'm still a journeyman. But I was doing basically, I was a grocery bagger at one point for the commissary. That was fun. I mean, that was my first job. I was able to make it at least $100 for tips on Saturdays and Sundays. So that was the time I mostly worked. Around that time, getting at least maybe near $100, if not $100, maybe $80. And I'm just happy with what I have, and I was able to buy whatever I wanted. That was like absolute freedom for me. And then also having a drive, And after that, during my times in school, I was working as an MC for weddings and parties. So I was with these fellas. They showed me the ropes, how it is to be on the mic, to do these events. Believe me, it was not easy in the beginning. I was scared. I was stage frightened. I mean, it's weird when there's just this one light, this one spotlight just shining right on you, and everything just seems like so dark, but they're there. Everyone's watching. and I was like frightened for like a minute, but then I overcame whatever it was, butterflies in my stomach, and then I just let myself loose. And after that, I was doing pretty well, but also at the same time, I was not having a great relationship with some of these individuals back then. It was just over some crazy shit. Like some of them were like in talking to a girl, and then another guy will make threats or whatever, or try to, and then of course I'll be to blame. Just out of nowhere, they're just picking on me like, oh, John Eric did not defend him. I like I said, I was just learning about life, seeing how things make sense, and then all of a sudden they just blame me because I wasn't there to help them. I'm just there, just observing as usual. But yeah, I got blamed for that. So after that drama, I just moved on. I'm very happy at least to make amends with that individual, just a few years ago. So it's good to talk to him again. Now he's a family man. Yeah, so I'm very happy with the fact that there's, we were able to work it out, let time heal everything.
That's great.
But then after that, I just worked like just temp jobs, just because I want my life to be a little bit easier. So I just did temping for maybe 3 or 4 different agencies, and it was fun. I was able to make some money, get to work at different places, develop friendships with people, seeing how things work from one place to the next. And I enjoyed it for a couple of years. And that pretty much was that's pretty much my work. My work experience was all based on temping. So I enjoyed it. It's good to wear, a tie and look very professional. And then after that, I just went to Orlando and, continued temping from there. But then I jumped into doing what's called office support for timeshare, or a timeshare resort called Orange Lake Resorts over there in Kissimmee, Florida. So I did that for a while. And then when they started merging with Holiday Inn, I'm like, oh, I know I'm going to be cut. So that's why I moved back. But other than that, that's basically my work experience. And then when I was here in Illinois, I just did inventory. So I was with my girlfriend, and we worked together doing inventory for 13, 14 years. But because she's risen in the ranks, I can't work under her anymore. And one of us had to go. So I volunteered to go. And then after that, I did rideshare. I mean, it was fun. Good to meet some people. I've only had maybe 2 bad customers. But other than that, it was fun. My car was taking a beating. I've kept it good for a couple of years until I've driven that thing way too much, and then it just starts falling apart. Now it's 13 years old, just hanging in there. Now it sounds like a roaring lion. It didn't sound as quiet like it used to. But I'm still grateful I still had that car. Oh, so there, that's pretty much my work experience in a nutshell. And I like, diving into the arts. It's motivating me. It's making me feel inspired, especially having to appreciate every day to be here on the mic talking to you, to go taking pictures or video. Whatever you see basically on my Facebook, you saw it all. You see how it goes. I'm just trying to make life good. And I try not to post too much of those things happening in the current climate, as in like politics. I try to steer myself away from that. I see how it's going with everyone. I see how it's dividing everyone.
Yes.
But the thing is, I wish people would just get to know, the perspectives of the other and get some understanding of it. But it seems like they're just they don't cross over. We don't have the chance to cross over and get to know the other side of what they're going through. I've been through, different experiences, having to even go to the troubling side of Chicago and get to talk to some of my workers that are from there and get to hear their insight. And then there are some people out there in the country lands, those that are farmers. I get to hear their takes too. So it's trying to get that wholesomeness, that we, in the end, we're all Americans. We all have something in common. We're all just trying to get through the day.
Exactly. I couldn't agree more. Actually, I opted out this time and just didn't vote for the first time ever. But it's so divisive, and I think it's kind of meant that way, honestly, because if they keep us divided and we're not coming across with compromises or shared experiences and stuff, then they can keep doing what they do. So
Yeah.
It'd be great for people to start actually like coming together and sharing their experiences and being kind to each other. That's my big thing. Just kindness. Be nice and be funny too. You know, funny stuff is great.
Oh yeah.
I try to keep it to that on my Facebook. Either funny or, you know, I'm dropping some nuggets. You know, it's either one or the other. It depends on the day.
Yeah, I also tell my friends, like, whenever they see this flag over here, this flag's been around for a long time, and I know it's getting, you know, a bad rap right now because, you know, what people think it represents. But to me, like I mentioned to you, that represents, you know, everyone. See, people just get it the wrong way out because, you know, hearsay or whatever, being influenced by someone telling you this and that. But to me, being an American, it means a lot, and I'm proud of it. Proud of being here in this, you know, in this country. It's been a blessing. It's been an honor. I've never done anything bad. I always love what this country has brought.
Yeah.
I enjoyed being in different places, getting to meet different people, seeing different perspectives, even just fellowshipping with other people that I never, you know, will never cross again. Just being happy in the moment with them.
Mm-hmm. It's all about connecting.
I just wish the rest of America would hear. Yeah. Yes, it is. You know, the real Americans, Bobbi, from what I see, like in my, you know, going around and about, are the ones that are in airports or at rest stops. Those are the real Americans out there. They're out there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Whew, wow. We really having a great conversation here. We kind of like took it all the way to left field here. And we went from high school to this. Wow. Yeah. Just shows how much we've gotten out of the box, my friend.
Right. And that's all right. That's all right. You know, outside of the box is great. It feels pretty good. Even if they don't like it. Keep your boxes. That's fine. I don't need it.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So I know, guys, I know you all been waiting. I know it's that time. So I'm going to go take this drink right now. Try to do my best Miss Thomas impression. My goodness.
I'm ready.
Hello, Bobbi. I sounded good a long time ago. It's just not there anymore. But I used to be so good at it that people eventually just laugh.
Yeah, anytime I go to grab a tissue, again, I'm always like, get a tissue.
So yeah, there's my Miss Thomas impression. I'm not good. Maybe I'll give her a call. Maybe we'll give her a call next time. We'll just ask how she's doing.
There you go. That's right.
Yeah, next time around. Yeah, hopefully God will give her, you know, many more years of life for me to get that chance to at least say hello live.
Maybe that's a podcast. Maybe reach out to some of our old teachers and see if they want to come on.
Oh yeah, that'd be great. It's crazy now that they're in their, you know, their 60s or 70s now. Wow, or even in their 80s.
Yeah,
I'm not even sure who's still among the living in our teachers.
Mm-hmm.
I know Mr. Newbie passed away, you know, a couple of years back.
Right. Yeah, I'm not really.
So did Miss White. I remember Miss White passed away. I remember her son was posting it on his social that she passed away.
Yeah, I remember.
Which was a few years ago.
That was around COVID time, I think.
Yeah. Yep. It was around that time.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we still have a little bit of some time here, my friend. Let's switch to this Northside Park. I never knew anything about that tug. Enlighten me about that.
So I saw it, I think it was on Facebook. It was one of the socials that I saw one of those little trivia things. And it happened to be mentioning something about waxing poetics. Well, I like waxing poetics. I like that Manica Moon, especially that album. And then I was like, wait a minute. And they had mentioned something about Northside Park and that being on the cover art. I was like, oh my God. So that showed me, okay, I'm going to go over there and I'm going to try and find it. So me and my beat stick, we went walking through the trails and I finally found it. It's overgrown. When I posted it on Facebook, a lot of people were mentioning it. I guess a lot of people played around there. I remember it once or twice as a kid walking around the little area over there. But yeah, it's kind of in plain sight over by the, excuse me, Excuse me. It's kind of in plain sight over there by the picnic tables. Oh, sorry.
Okay. Oh, it's all right. And bless you, by the way. I guess you can say bless you, right? Even though you're cuffing. But what was the significance of that tug? I just want to know historically what.
I've seen some stories of people saying that back there was a dump area in the 80s, and then I've seen some things that have said that it got stuck back there when they were dredging some canals. So I don't really know what the actual story is. I just thought it was really cool that it was on the album, and I never made the correlation until then, and I was like, this is kind of cool. Like pop culture right in our park.
Wow. I guess later on I'm going to try to delve further into finding out what the significance of this tug is on. Isn't that kind of scary though? Looking at it, like it's kind of like
a little bit.
It freaks people out, especially if it wasn't Halloween. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's a little overgrown and everything, and then I checked out some of the other trails that I had never been through back in the back, and that was pretty cool. It's very overgrown back there, though. Like, I definitely say, bring some bug spray and your beat stick just in case.
Now, did you go about it alone, or did you bring like a fellow family member along?
I went alone, hence the beat stick.
Oh yeah, definitely the beat stick comes in handy.
Nobody's gonna mess with the ginger that's holding a bag.
Now, this wasn't at nighttime, was it? It was just like in the afternoon.
No,
right?
This was middle of the day.
Oh, okay, that's good. Would have been really bad.
Yeah, no. I'll push things a little bit, but only so far. Like all these walks, my son has gone on a few walks with me, but most of them I'm by myself. Just kind of checking stuff out. So I try to be as observant as possible because it's crazy out here.
Yeah. How often y'all go over there?
I hadn't been over there in a little while, but maybe about once a month or so.
Okay. That's like me going into Chicago. I don't go there too often.
Yeah.
I'm about almost an hour towards Chicago, especially when it comes to traffic. It's crazy. Going to Chicago itself is just crazy, especially with traffic. Whether you're going to or coming from, my goodness, it's like forever in traffic.
Is that because that's the area that has like all the business and everything? Like everybody's going there for work kind of deal, like rush hour?
Yeah. Yep. And I think for your commute to be smoother, in the beginning of the day, you have to leave at least 4. So for those that have to work in the city, they have to leave early, or else you'll be caught up in the 5:30 or 6 o'clock. It already starts getting congested.
Oh wow. It's starting to get pretty bad here as far as the traffic, but it's kind of how it's always been. There's just a little bit more people on the roads and a little bit more accidents hemming things up and a little bit more construction. Same.
Yeah. Oh, I remember you posted something about you and the bridge, and it felt uncomfortable for you. I forgot. I don't know if I was right on that or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, fill me in on that. Sorry if I.
Oh no, that's all right.
Sorry if I put that out there, but
no, that's fine. Yeah, I've got a bridge phobia. Well, I've got a height phobia. Bridges, elevators, high areas. The first time it happened, it was in Norview Middle. We went to DC, and it was a school trip. And we all went up in the Washington Monument. And okay, so first off, you got to go up that elevator, which I was freaking out in that. And then you're up the top of the Washington Monument, and you can feel it swaying when you're up there. So I was freaking out about that. I'm just like sitting there, and you got to wait a while. Like it's 5 minutes or so, 5-10 minutes for that elevator to go up and go down and come back up again. So I'm just kind of sitting there, and my boyfriend at the time, he's just like, "Are you all right?" And my mom was there too, because it was a school field trip. So yeah, my mom was there. And so she's like, it's okay. And I'm like trying to say, look, let's just go down the steps, but they wouldn't let me go down the steps, which rightfully so. That's a lot of steps. But that was my first panic attack with it. And since then, I've kind of struggled I was doing okay with a lot of them, but in October of 2024, I decided to come off of my antidepressants. I had been taking them for about 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
And they weren't working for me anymore. Like the bridges were bothering me and, traffic was bothering me and things like that. So I decided to quit the antidepressants, and I've been about a year off of them. So it's been interesting, but trying to regulate my nervous system in natural ways, and trying to pull from my mental health toolkit to kind of get back to basics, to do some of the tapping exercises, to do some of the breathing exercises and things like that, so that I don't have to go back on medication. Because I do feel better now that I'm off of them, and I have a fair amount of clarity that I don't feel like I had before on them. And I took all the antidepressants, 15 years of taking them, you're running the gamut. This one stops working. You come from the Prozac to the Celexa to the Lexapro to the Cymbalta. And Cymbalta was the one that I ended up quitting on it. So for bridges, it's a big deal for me. And, that was part of my problem in living in Chesapeake, because you got the high rise, and the high rise has always been a big bugaboo. Like one time my mom and I were driving over the high rise, and I was driving and I actually stopped on top of it, and we did like a Chinese fire drill because I started freaking out, and I was like, 17, 18 years old, something like that. We didn't know what panic attacks and anxiety was, so I thought I was going crazy. And then a little later on, I went on the antidepressants, but it's been a process. And that's why I'm so intentional now with going on these walks and looking into different things that I can do to help me overcome these things. Because at the end of the day, it's going to take me working through it. Exposure therapy. That's why the Lesnar, that's a smaller one. I kind of white knuckled over it, but I try to take those wins and being intentional with them, because for me, they're pretty big. And so, yeah. Bridges are a real pain, and there's bridges everywhere around here. So it's like, like right now, the peninsula is dead to me. Like it does not even exist. I'm not going over the Monitor Merrimack or the HRBC right now. I'm not messing with them. Like if it's over there, sorry, not sorry. Come to the south side.
Gosh, I remember you bringing the Lesnar Bridge up. I skipped school with Henry and Lloyd. We'd be going under the bridge just before they developed it a lot more. But it was fun hanging over there for a few days. We went over there.
Yeah, that was a good spot.
It was fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
It looked more natural back then than it does now.
Yeah, they did a lot now that they put that marina in there. Although if you go back, I did a walk in the nature area that's kind of off of that. And it's got the Brock Environmental Center over there, which I haven't checked that out yet. But I did a little bit of walking over there, and that area is kind of nice. I think they call it Pleasure Point and everything. So, and that's just like sand and grasslands, which is pretty cool. So at least they kept some of it. But yeah, that other area under the bridge, that's all kinds of touristy now.
Yeah, I was able to go to some of the restaurants on the other side, and I told my girlfriends, like, babe, see that place over there? See that part of the bridge there? But of course, this is not the bridge now. But back then, I told her the old bridge. Me and my friends skipped school, and we just stood under the bridge. So it was good to bring that flashback back. As I was eating my meal.
Right.
It came full circle.
Yeah, there's lots of those spots around here. It happens so much here lately where I'll drive past somewhere and then it's just a random memory, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. That's neat.
Yeah. Wow. All right. I'm gonna switch gears here to a much more serious issue. I'm just gonna read it as it is, as you've written it, and then you can elaborate more about it.
Okay.
This is like your TED Talk. This is what you refer to as your TED Talk. I'm gonna read it as it is, and it must be wonderful for a person like myself to actually read this for everybody watching or listening. So here goes my reading. Let's see if I'm still good. Let's see what these glasses can do. I spent like nearly $600 for this. All right, holes in the wall. Here we go. They reveal so much more than just a temporary moment of displaced rage. It is a daily reminder of fear being instilled instead of grace and understanding. It's the realization that you are under emotional manipulation, because mature men don't go around punching inanimate objects, not because the monster does not live inside them, but because they know they can be as dangerous and choose to keep it up at bay. You think, but I didn't hit you, so it's okay, no big deal. I'm not abusive. No, it's a temper tantrum, and an extremely volatile one at that, because the damage you inflicted cannot be taken back. It doesn't go away. It erodes any feelings of safety or security within that relationship, because you will always wonder when it will escalate further. Not if, always when. Regardless of the apologies you may receive, I am truly curious, does it empower you in that moment? Do you feel like, quote unquote, a man for winning the argument, or at the least shutting down the communication simply because you can't handle it, because you don't repair what you broke, even if you replace the door or the drywall and repaint? That scar lives on in the heart of the woman that you decided needed to be humbled in that moment. As women, we know you're stronger. We hope that strength will result in your protection. You destroy that the very first time that fist-shaped hole appears. So we shrink in fear while being blamed for your lack of self-control. We try to hide it any way possible with strategically placed pictures, or in my case, calendars. We spend years in therapy to undo that damage. We realize how strong we are through pain and how weak you are while projecting your superiority. I'm here to say it ain't a flex, and women are sick of it. This can go both ways. There are abusive women out here too. In my experience, this is male-centric, and that's where I'm speaking from. Place it how it fits for you, but heed the message. Stop complaining about women not being soft and feminine when our survival depends on staying in our masculine. Own your part in that and learn how to hold instead of hit. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
That's awesome.
I hope I sounded okay.
That's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah. So this is what happened to you, and you're basically letting everyone know what you're facing, what your thoughts are afterwards. And I know you both went through therapy.
Well, and what makes me bring it up is that I feel like these are the kind of things that I've lived in my experience that I'm supposed to speak on. Like, if we don't know, we can't do better. And these are the things that I've learned through therapy and through looking into psychology and learning a lot about how codependency works and how abuse works and things along that line. And this was one that really kind of got me, because it's not any one person in my story. It's multiple people in my story, which is sad, but also kind of telling in a way, because it does. It's, I can understand. I've been around guys my whole life, like even in my first marriage, like it was all the guys. Like, we were the first ones to get married, and so I was more or less a lot of times the lone female around all the fellas. So I did get a lot of male perspective, but I just don't think that it's modeled enough, keeping that demon at bay, because it does scare women. I know I was scared. For the most part, I knew that it was a display of strength and it wasn't going to be directed at me, but it still instilled that fear. And these are the very things that I'm trying to kind of heal from and get out of my system. My pattern recognition is on 1,000. So looking back at a lot of these things and seeing these patterns and seeing that my choices and the people that I've chosen that do these kind of things, I need to look at my choices and maybe change the things that I'm looking for in a partner so that I don't find myself in this. Because I really did. I used to joke about it before, like it was multiple holes going up and down my hallway. And, at first I started putting happy face stickers because I thought that was funny and I was being petty. I'm like, okay, we're going to put a little happy face where the hurt is, being a smartass. And then I decided, okay, I don't really, I'm embarrassed by it at this point because it was still there. So then I started strategically placing like pictures and calendars. So there were multiple calendars going down my hallway. But it wasn't just that experience. It, like I said, it's been multiple players over a few decades. And that's why, I don't bring it up to point the finger because I know, I can really get somebody going. I know how to push people's buttons sometimes. And I get that, but that still doesn't make that okay to use that display of power and control to control the narrative. Like, and in speaking on it, it's healing me, but it's also showing other women that, hey, I can say something about this. This is wrong. This is something I need to point out. Or to men that do this, it's maybe there's a different way to be. Maybe I need to find a different outlet for these emotions. Maybe I need to learn a little bit of control in these situations and some emotional intelligence as well to kind of, where it's not escalated in that way because that doesn't do anything. Once you do that, you've eroded any safety that you've instilled into that relationship. And, regardless of how many times that you think it's going to be fine, it's not. It's not. It doesn't go away. I thought before, because I would let it go, because I thought it would go away. I thought it was a one-time thing. It's never a one-time thing. That's that person's response to being under stress and not being able to control those emotions. And if I'm expected to control my emotions in a situation, I expect that same reciprocity. And so that's why I talk about it, not to shame anyone, because we all grow. I mean, I was out here being a whole carnal.
Yeah.
So I'm not perfect by any means. But to bring that awareness to it, that's where I think my purpose is. God had to sit me down and he said, you need to start telling your stories. So I'm telling my stories. And I hope that it helps some people. I know it is going to trigger some folks.
They're facing the same thing. Yeah.
But, I know it triggered one person, like one person commented on the post and now I'm blocked. But, it's not about followers. It's not about a following. It's about making people think. And if I make even one person think and maybe change their perspective a little bit, it's worth it for me. That's where I'm at.
Yeah. Good point. Good point. Yeah, that's good. You laid it out there. I mean, some people will relate, some won't.
Yeah.
And that's what I plan to do too with some of my experiences. I've lost some already. I've seen my numbers, dwindle a little bit because of what I say. How I'm very outspoken on things now. No longer hiding, no longer bottling up the emotions like you've seen me through the years. So yeah, I'm just learning how to be as very transparent and as very open about whatever happened in my life. And now I'm just grateful that people like us are transforming people's lives just through our own testimony.
Yes, because there's no testimony without tests. So we've gone through these tests and we're kind of brave in a way for actually coming out and saying it. It's very, not everybody can stand up and be transparent. A lot of people still keep their masks up and, but masks are so tiring. Like it feels really good to be authentic, doesn't it? To really just be like, no, this is where I'm at. If you can roll with it, cool. If we don't align, no hate, no shade, just deuces. Like, I'll pray for you.
Well, guys, that's all the time we have here today. I'm very grateful to have Bobbi K here on the show today, and hopefully she'll make another appearance, and hopefully many of you from Booker T. Washington High School will join us maybe we need that a reunion episode. I know this is a mini reunion, but I kind of want more. So, guys, feel free to come along and we can make it happen. I'm talking about Sonny. I'm talking about Chris Beersley. I'm talking about Preston Bonneville. I'm talking Henry. Anyone out there, whether even Robert Livingston, or I would say Scott Gale. See, I'm mentioning now. I lost it earlier, but here they are. Chastity, I want to hear from you too. Yeah, definitely would love to hear from everyone. See, there you go. In a nutshell, bringing names back. Erica Newman. See, there you go.
Thank you so much for having me too. This has been a blast.
I know it sure has been, and as we talk, time is just going by so fast, and we feel like we need to do a two-parter at some point. Yeah, very honored to have you here. You're awesome. You're amazing. Just as I remembered you, I'm glad to have the chance to know you more often now, and it's really eye-opening, by the way, to know your perspective as well as you hearing mine. You finally get to see why this guy was quiet over the years. So now you know.
Yes, no, this has been
so great. It all comes full circle now, my friend. So guys, thank you very much for listening to the 2400 Block podcast. I'll catch y'all again next time, and I'll catch you too next time, Bobbi K.
See you later. Thank you.
Thanks for checking out this episode of 2400 Block Podcast. Don't forget to follow and subscribe.